today's topic is, what is the best SIBO treatment? So I'm assuming that you already are familiar with the term SIBO, the small intestine bacterial overgrowth, or you already have discovered that you have SIBO, where some of this commensal bacteria that typically lives in the colon has moved up to the small intestine and now is creating problems for you like gas and flatulence, maybe also cramping, and perhaps change in your bowel movements. So if you yet need to discover whether you have this condition called SIBO, I recommend that you take a SIBO breath test where you measure the overgrowth of hydrogen and methane gases. So it is important that you are certain of being SIBO positive before you decide to go through this treatment process that I'm going to lay out for you in this video. Because there is no reason to overload your gut with supplements and dietary changes that don't work, when in fact, it is not what is causing your problem in your digestive system. For the best and most efficient SIBO treatment, you need to combine 3 important elements of the treatment. Number 1, dietary changes. So dietary changes are the most important thing in SIBO treatment. But if you want to achieve the best effect of the treatment, you will have to investigate what is the underlying cause of your SIBO. This means that you have to go and get tested for various conditions that could be causing problems in your digestion. So SIBO breath test could be, of course, one of them, but also a stool test is relevant, which could help clarify which specific bacteria is overgrown and whether there are other conditions beside the bacteria that is being a co-creator of the problem. And of course, this you need to do before you start the actual SIBO treatment. Especially in relation to the diet plan, the lab test could give you indications of gluten sensitivity, fat malabsorption, enzyme inactivity, or even stomach pH being out of balance. All of which can give you a more clear perspective on which direction to go with the diet and whether there are other specific conditions you must take into account when doing a SIBO diet plan. As for the diet options in SIBO treatment, I would go for the SIBO diet plan because most people with SIBO and IBS do very well on this particular diet. It is a carb-restricted diet, and on top of that, it takes high fermentable foods, the so-called high fodmaps, into consideration as well. This is important as the wrong imbalanced bacteria prefers carbohydrates as its main source of nutrition. And by eliminating the carbohydrates from the diet, you starve off the wrong bacteria. And as for the high fermentable foods, such as onions, cabbage, and beans, these tend to ferment early on in the digestive tract, creating gas and flatulence, and by reducing them in the diet, you can achieve symptom relief. This is also something that you need to find out whether you have a histamine intolerance before starting the SIBO treatment plan, in order to find out whether you additionally should be eliminating foods that are high in histamine. An alternative diet for SIBO treatment could also be the elemental diet, which also has a high success rate for SIBO treatment. I have done another video on this where I talk about the difference between the SIBO diet and the elemental diet that I think you should check out. I've put link down below. Number 2, natural antimicrobial supplementation. Antimicrobials are important to include in a SIBO treatment, as we have to take a greater effort to reduce the number of unwanted bacteria in the gut. In many cases, antibiotics are used for this very purpose, but I would personally go for the natural remedies, which are more gentle to the good intestinal bacteria, whereas antibiotics in many cases destroy the good bacteria and you can experience relapse in the condition. And this is a problem because you are destroying good bacteria in the gut that can actually prevent the bad ones from coming back. So there are a lot of different options in natural antimicrobial supplements, such as oregano oil, grapeseed extract, berberine, which is a combination of several herbs. However, I would recommend that you consult with a professional before start taking antimicrobial supplements, as there can be many side effects in relation to incorrect use of the product. And also, if the test results are indicating that it is a case of a broader spectrum of bacteria being overgrown in the gut, then you should be applying a broad spectrum formula as well. Number 3, probiotics. So probiotics are really important for SIBO to rebuild the gut. However, these should only be used after a course of antimicrobials, mainly of 2 reasons. The first reason is that it should not be combined with antimicrobial supplements. And the second reason is that we only do this after we have removed the imbalanced bacteria and then use probiotics to restore the good intestinal flora, which can also help prevent any relapses in SIBO symptoms. I would personally go for a natural probiotic like fermented vegetables or milk kefir. Another option could be to buy a probiotic supplement where you should be looking for 2 important things. First, the product that you buy should contain a broad spectrum of lactic acid bacteria, as we need to restore the diversity of bacteria in the gut. And second, it should contain more than 20 billion CFUs per daily servings, or much more if possible. In relation to the treatment process, the SIBO treatment plan should be divided into 2 phases, where the first phase is all about killing and reducing the imbalanced bacteria, and the second phase is all about reintroducing certain foods back into your diet and starting the probiotic treatment to restore the good intestinal flora. So here are some other important factors that can impact the process of successful SIBO treatment. It could be planning, stress reduction, getting enough sleep, or taking other things into consideration like allergies, medication, etc. So all of these are important points that you need to include in your SIBO treatment that can give you a long-term treatment effect. If you in any way are benefiting from this content, please remember to hit the subscribe button below, and I will keep updating you with some upcoming videos that you will find interesting about IBS-related issues. And if you would like to include some professional help into your treatment plan, then you should check out my website. I put a link right over here. Thanks for watching.